What if the latest breakthrough for metabolic disease is just a band-aid, trapping symptoms instead of fixing the root cause? Today I'm exposing the truth about the polymer trap you won't hear in the headlines. Okay, everybody, my name's Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and this is part of my question and answer series. And are scientists treating metabolic disease backwards? So let's look at the question. When you examine the Fang et al. Study proposing a polymer trap for D-lactate, what specifically tells you this represents symptom management rather than addressing the fundamental metabolic dysfunction? Absolutely a great question. The polymer trap in the Fang et al. Study is an innovative approach, but it primarily targets a downstream symptom, elevated circulating D-lactate, rather than correcting the underlying metabolic dysfunction that gives rise to it. Here's how the study itself frames the trap as a symptom management rather than a foundational fix. So let's get into it. It targets elevated D-lactate, not its root cause. The polymer, for example PL65, is designed to capture microbial produced D-lactate in the gut, forcing its excretion before it enters circulation and affects the liver. However, the intervention does not modify microbiome composition, host insulin resistance diet, or the gut-liver axis pathways generating D-lactate in the first place. In effect, it blocks the signaling fuel, D-lactate, but does not address why D-lactate is elevated, such as gut dysbiosis, impaired barrier function, or systematic metabolic derangements. Okay? 2. Other studies tie D-lactate to underlying metabolic dysregulation. Okay, so yes, elevated serum D-lactate and general lactate levels correlate strongly with insulin resistance and the progression of MAFLD MASH in humans, even when accounting for factors like obesity or metformin use. However, these correlations suggest that D-lactate is a marker of deeper metabolic dysfunction rather than the root cause itself. So, what are the limitations here? The polymer doesn't restore metabolic or barrier health. That's a big problem. The trap doesn't correct intestinal permeability, alter inflammatory pathways, or shift microbiome ecology, key upstream drivers of metabolic disease. It simply reduces exposure of the liver to one microbial metabolite. It's a symptom, without rebalancing systematic metabolic dysfunction in tissues like adipose, pancreas, muscle, or immune cells. It's definitely just masking a symptom. So there's no evidence of long-term systematic research. Okay, so this is a relatively new study, so we'll give them that. It's brand new. The study did not assess whether polymer treatment leads to long-term metabolic improvements after discontinuation, nor does it investigate whether D-lactate levels rebound. It is thus unknown whether the intervention would provide durable metabolic benefit or whether continued reliance on the trap is required, i.e., is this one of those you have to buy it forever type of symptom maskers? Okay? So, if we look at this table, why the polymer trap is symptomatic, so you have the target is elevated gut D-lactate. What does it do? It's impaired insulin sensitivity and dysbiosis, etc., right? So the root cause addressed? No, it doesn't address it at all. The underlying host is still microbiome metabolic dysfunction. Is the metabolic axis altered, right? Well, the decrease in D-lactate absorption is what the polymer does, but no, it doesn't change the systematic metabolic reprogramming. Okay, so it doesn't do anything to change your system. And has the durability been assessed? Well, it's only short term at this point in the efficacy. It's only shown in the study. So long-term rebound or sustainability is unknown. Right? So we get to the bottom line, right? The Fang et al. Polymer intervention is clever. It shows that removing one microbial-derived metabolite can dampen blood glucose spikes, hepatic inflammation and fibrosis. So it's good. They found something that actually does something good, but it remains a symptomatic strategy. They're fixing symptoms, they're not fixing the underlying cause. Managing the fuel, D-lactate, without reversing the complex metabolic machinery that produces it. For a true fundamental treatment of metabolic dysfunction, addressing insulin resistance, gut barrier integrity, microbiome composition, and systematic inflammation, future therapies must go beyond sequestering metabolites to reprogram the host metabolism, prevent gut dysbiosis, and restore organ crosstalk. In other words, you need to change your diet. You need to eat a ketogenic, carbohydrate free type of a diet. Oh, which, by the way, doesn't cost you anything. Right? Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the appropriate section. This is a community we're building here. I'm here to try and answer your questions. If there's something you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comment section, and we'll add it to the publishing schedule. Okay. Thank you very much. And then, as always, if you haven't done so, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend. And you help the channel a great deal, so I'm thanking you for that. And you help a lot of other people. So give it a try. Thank you.